My blind husband warned me before we got married, remember, you're just the woman my father hired to take care of me. I don't love you, but after we got married, he became crazy jealous, wouldn't let me wear miniskirts, and wouldn't let me see my ex-boyfriend. The butler led me into a room as night fell. Madam, this is your honeymoon night with the master, you should rest early, he said before quickly shutting the door behind him. Wait, I tried to explain, but it was too late. Turning around to assess the room, I barely had time to react as a cup flew toward me. Get out, a furious voice roared. I dodged just in time. The cup hit the wall, shattering to pieces. Looking up, I saw a handsome man sitting at the foot of the bed, glaring at me. This was my new husband, Joshua Lee. Realizing the door hadn't opened, he shouted again. I said, get out, are you deaf? I twisted the doorknob, but it wouldn't budge. The door is locked. I called back, I'm trapped in here. Seeing him reach for something else to throw at me, I quickly added, Lord Joshua, if you hurt me, who will take care of you? A sneer crossed his face. I don't need a woman like you to take care of me. Oh really? I glanced at the floor beneath his bed, where remnants of a meal lay scattered. What about the mess under your bed? Are you planning to wait until someone else comes tomorrow to clean it up? His handsome face darkened instantly. Let me handle this, I offered. But Joshua was having none of it. I said I don't need you. I blinked. Lord Joshua, to be honest, I don't want to do this either, but it smells terrible in here, and I'd rather not lose sleep over it. Joshua misunderstood, his cold laughter cutting through the room, so eager to share my bed. You're shameless. I massaged my temples. You're overthinking it, Lord Joshua, that's not what I meant at all. Let's sleep in separate rooms tonight. Seeing his skeptical expression, I reasoned further. How about this? If I touch you, you can throw whatever you want at me. Deal. Joshua didn't respond. His expression was grim, his body tense. I couldn't help but wonder if his blindness had made him lose trust in people. Was that why he refused to let anyone near him? As I approached, he turned his head away, sneering. Tell me, how much did my grandfather pay your family to marry me? A blind man, you must have been offered quite a sum to clean up after me, rolling up the stained carpet and the spoiled food on it. I answered calmly, according to my father, our grandfathers made a mutual promise, if they had children of opposite genders, we would marry. Joshua pressed further. I'm asking what compensation my grandfather gave your family. Stop dodging the question. I hauled the filthy carpet toward the trash and stood upright. I'm sorry, I don't know the details, he scoffed, convinced I was following my father's orders to hide the truth. You're nothing but a gold digger. Your father sold you for his own gain, and you're no better than him. I corrected him immediately. You can insult my father, but not me. For a moment, it looked like he wanted to strangle me. Ignoring his murderous glare, I stuffed the dirty carpet into the trash and cleaned up the shards of the cup he had thrown. Afterward, I walked to his bed and waved my hand in front of his face. He didn't react. Lord Joshua, I asked softly, are you completely blind? He stayed silent, his expression darker than ever. Retracting my hand, I apologized sincerely. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. It's just that we'll be living together, and I thought it best to clarify some things from the start. Though he pretended not to care about me, he was still a man. I didn't want to be caught off guard. My honesty seemed to touch a part of him, but Joshua dismissed it as another ploy. You think a few sweet words will convince me to put a child in your belly so you can claim my grandfather's reward. As I stood there, stunned, he growled through gritted teeth, you'd better forget about it. I will never give you my child. I responded calmly, very well, Lord Joshua, I'll remember your words now. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a bath. After bathing, I glanced across the room at Joshua. He had finally fallen asleep. Relieved, I curled up on the cold sofa, resigned to the lack of extra blankets. I wouldn't stoop to stealing one from a blind man. Later that night, Joshua opened his eyes. His vision returned briefly, and he gazed at me, curled up on the sofa.
Now comment update to tag you on part 2.